Welcome to the Wisdom Tribe. If you are listening to this right now, it is not by coincidence. It is by divine appointment. You have been drawn here by the Spirit of God Himself because this message carries something that belongs to you. You are not here by accident. You are here because heaven has already stamped you as chosen, set apart, and destined for greatness. There are truths in life that are meant to protect you, even if they seem hard to accept. Some people, some connections, and some situations are not what they appear to be. Chosen ones, today I'm revealing a message that may feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. If you truly knew the truth about certain people in your life, you'd never speak to them again. And sometimes silence is the most powerful weapon God has given you. Before we go any further, if your spirit is connected with this message, type 7 in the comments right now. That number is not random. It represents divine alignment and completion, the sign that God is orchestrating the hidden shifts in your life and preparing to reveal your breakthrough. When you type it, you are declaring in faith that you are chosen, protected, and ready to walk in the freedom and clarity that comes from knowing the truth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Wisdom Tribe, and stay with this video until the very end, because the spiritual shifts and revelations God is releasing today are about to transform your life in ways you never imagined. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The mask they wear is not what you think. Chosen ones, some people in your life are wearing masks. What they present to you is not their reality. They smile when you succeed, but inside there is envy. They speak words of love, but their actions betray intentions that are not pure. At first, it may be hard to recognize because the mask can be convincing. You may have trusted, shared, and even invested in them, believing their appearance reflected their heart. But appearances can deceive, and not everyone who is close to you is aligned with your destiny. The truth is, not everyone is meant to walk with you through your season of elevation. Some are only assigned to teach you lessons, guiding you to recognize true character and spiritual maturity. Others are placed to test your discernment, your patience, and your ability to protect your peace. Every encounter, every conversation, every bond carries a lesson, even the ones that seem painful or disappointing. When you finally see their true colors, your heart will know. You will realize that silence is not betrayal, it is protection. By stepping back, observing, and holding your peace, you shield yourself from unnecessary drama, emotional exhaustion, and spiritual interference. You don't owe anyone explanations for their hidden motives, and you don't have to expose your life to someone who cannot handle your truth. Some people will eventually reveal themselves through patterns, consistent behaviors, repeated words, or actions that contradict what they say. Pay attention to these signs. Chosen ones, your spirit knows before your mind can fully comprehend. The sooner you recognize the masks, the sooner you can preserve your energy, your focus, and your divine calling. The masks are often subtle. Sometimes they come as flattery, false encouragement, or constant advice that seems helpful but subtly undermines your confidence. Sometimes it's a slow shift, small betrayals or moments of disloyalty that you dismiss because you want to believe the best. But God is calling you to see clearly, to walk in wisdom, to honor the silent warnings He places in your spirit. Those subtle signs are not coincidences. They are divine nudges preparing you to act in alignment with your destiny. Remember, the same God who allows masks to appear also gives you wisdom to see through them. He equips you to identify those who are aligned with your journey and those who are meant to fade away. When you embrace this truth, you understand that not every relationship is meant to last, and that's okay. Silence, discernment, and distance are not acts of cruelty. They are acts of faith and divine protection. Do not be surprised when some people reveal themselves fully. The ones you once trusted may show their true colors abruptly or sometimes slowly over time. Your response should not be anger, regret, or revenge. It should be peace, faith, and continued focus on the path God has designed for you. Your attention belongs to your purpose, your calling, and your breakthrough, not to the illusions that others create around themselves. The world may misunderstand your choice to step back, but your obedience to God will guard your peace, elevate your life, and preserve your destiny. Chosen ones, as you begin to see who is real and who is pretending, hold fast to your integrity and walk carefully in silence. Because God is moving and your breakthrough cannot be hindered by hidden agendas. Your discernment is a gift. Your silence is strength, and your peace is priceless. Every mask that is revealed is a confirmation that God is protecting you from what is not meant to carry your energy or align with your purpose. Honor that wisdom, chosen ones, and know this: those who are meant to walk with you will reveal themselves naturally, without effort, without manipulation, without masks. And when that happens, your journey will continue with clarity, divine favor, and protection like never before. Chapter 2. When you speak, you lose power. Every time you try to explain or defend yourself to those who don't have your heart, you give away energy that belongs to you. Chosen ones, your power lies in restraint. Your strength is not measured by how loud you speak, but by how silent you can remain when falsely accused, misunderstood, or disrespected. The enemy's greatest tactic is to pull you into battles that are beneath your anointing, to get you to react instead of discern, to fight with words instead of wisdom. But silence, chosen one, is not weakness. It is warfare. It is how you preserve your energy for what truly matters. There is a sacred mystery in silence. It's the language of the mature. When you've been through enough spiritual battles, you learn that not every action deserves a reaction. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who are spiritually blind. You realize that the moment you start explaining your divine assignment to those who lack spiritual ears, you cheapen your calling. Because what's holy cannot be explained to the unhealed, and what's divine will always be misunderstood by the carnal. There are battles that can only be won quietly in the unseen by God alone. Some people attack not because they see you wrongly, but because they sense something powerful within you. The darkness in them reacts to the light in you, and when you respond emotionally, you hand over control. But when you stay silent, you keep your position, the high ground. That's why the enemy is frustrated when you stop talking. He loses access to your energy, your time, and your attention. Silence preserves your authority, your peace, and your destiny. It protects your spirit from the noise of misunderstanding. When you don't respond to gossip, rumors, or disrespect, you create space for God to move. He becomes your voice in rooms you've never entered, your defense in conversations you'll never hear. Chosen one, Every time you resist the urge to speak, you let heaven work on your behalf. And trust me, when heaven speaks, it's louder and more undeniable than any explanation you could ever give. Speaking to those who are not aligned with your purpose will never bring understanding. It only drains your spirit. You can't teach revelation to those who operate in ego. You can't reason with those who are committed to misunderstanding your light. The moment you try to prove yourself to them, you've already stepped off your throne to fight a battle that doesn't belong to you. And kings and queens don't step off their thrones to argue. They let results speak. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is stop explaining, stop defending, and let God handle what they cannot see. Every time you hold your peace, you are allowing God's justice to speak through divine timing. Every time you stay still, you are showing heaven that you trust His process more than your pride. And that's when the tables turn. That's when the same people who spoke against you are forced to watch you rise without saying a word. Remember this: silence is not passivity, it's preparation. You're not ignoring the storm, you're rising above it. You're not being quiet because you have no words. You're quiet because your spirit is louder than any response. When you remain calm, you confuse those who thrive on chaos. When you stay peaceful, you demonstrate that your strength comes from a higher source. Chosen one, learn to master your silence. It's your greatest shield and your most powerful weapon. Some truths don't need to be explained. They need to be lived. Some battles don't need to be fought. They need to be outlasted. Let your success be your response. Let your peace be your revenge. And let your continued rise be the proof that God fights best when you're quiet. Because when you stop speaking to those who cannot hear you, heaven begins speaking for you. And when heaven speaks, no lie, no rumor, no jealousy, and no scheme can silence the truth that God was with you all along. Chapter 3. The truth will protect you. Chosen one, there are truths that God hides until the appointed time. Not to punish you, but to protect you. Some things were veiled because if you knew them earlier, they would have broken your spirit or caused you to move in the wrong season. God reveals truth in layers according to your maturity. When your spirit grows stronger, when your discernment sharpens, He begins to uncover what was once hidden. Not to expose others, but to elevate you beyond deception. If you saw what was being said behind your back, if you knew the conversation that happened when you left the room, if you heard the thoughts some people secretly carried about your success, you would understand why God told you to be quiet, to pull away, to stay still. Some people never truly loved you. They loved your potential. They loved your light until it outshined theirs. And when they realized they couldn't control or compete with what God placed inside you, their hearts shifted. But here's the divine mystery. God allowed it. He let certain people betray you so you could learn discernment. He let rejection teach you direction. He let loss refine your loyalty. The truth isn't always gentle, but it is always necessary. It purifies your vision so you stop seeing through emotion and start seeing through revelation. The truth is your armor. It shields you from manipulation, from false love, from counterfeit peace. It protects your energy, tsinos. Because when you know who and what is truly for you, you stop wasting time trying to fix what was never meant to last. The truth keeps you from repeating cycles that delay your destiny. It teaches you who deserves access and who only deserves distance. Some relationships were never rooted in love. They were rooted in need. Some people connected to you for what you carried, not for who you are. They smiled at you but silently competed with you. They cheered for you publicly but hoped privately that you would fail. But the truth exposes all of that, not for you to retaliate, but for you to release. Chosen one, there is power in understanding without reacting. When God opens your eyes, don't run to confront. Run to your prayer closet. Don't let your emotions speak louder than your assignment. Silence will speak louder than any argument. Distance will communicate more than any explanation. The truth doesn't need defending. It reveals itself with time. You must also understand that truth is a double-edged sword. It not only exposes others, it refines you. Sometimes God shows you your own patterns, your need for validation, your habit of overgiving, your desire to see the good in people even when it's not there. When truth shines its light on those parts of you, it's not condemnation, so it's preparation. God is purifying your heart for the next dimension. So don't be afraid of what's being revealed in this season. The masks are falling off for a reason. The truth is separating you from deception, from cycles, from distractions that can no longer follow you. You may feel alone right now, but you're actually being surrounded by divine clarity. And that clarity will become your peace. Understand this truth is not just information, it's revelation. It doesn't always come through words. Sometimes it comes through silence, through energy, through discernment. You'll feel it in your spirit when something no longer aligns, when someone's energy changes, when a place starts feeling heavy. That's not paranoia, that's divine awareness. God is fine-tuning your spiritual frequency so you can detect deception before it destroys you. Chosen one, let truth do its work. Don't rush the process of revelation. Every unveiling is a layer of freedom. Every confirmation is another step out of confusion. And every moment of silence is a divine reminder that your peace is more powerful than any explanation. Chapter 4. The ones who deserve your voice are few. Chosen one, your voice is not ordinary. It carries weight in the spirit. Every word you speak carries frequency, authority, and energy. That's why the enemy always tries to pull you into pointless conversations, arguments, and emotional traps, to drain what's divine within you. But God is teaching you something in this season. Not everyone deserves access to your voice. You have poured your heart out to people who only came to collect information, not to offer understanding. You've shared your dreams with those who never planned to support them. You've cried in front of faces that smiled but secretly rejoiced in your struggle. And yet through it all, you kept talking, hoping they'd understand, hoping they'd care, hoping they'd be different. But chosen one, some people were never meant to be trusted with your truth. They were lessons, not lifelines. The ones who deserve your voice are rare. They don't need explanations to believe in you. They don't need proof to stand beside you. They pray for you when you're not in the room. They cover your name when others try to stain it. They see your potential, not your mistakes. And when you speak, they listen, not to respond, but to understand. Those are the ones God assigns to your destiny, not just your journey. Your voice is spiritual currency. Every time you speak, you release energy. That's why you feel drained after trying to explain yourself to people who don't get you. That's why your peace disappears when you argue with those who've already decided what to believe. Not every battle deserves your words. Not every question deserves your answer. Sometimes silence speaks louder than any defense because silence is sacred. It keeps your spirit untouchable. God is teaching you the discipline of discernment. He's showing you how to separate the curious from the called, the familiar from the faithful. The ones who truly deserve your voice are those who carry a spirit of peace, not chaos. They won't twist your words, they'll treasure them. They won't gossip about your pain, they'll guard it in prayer. They won't take your vulnerability as weakness, they'll see it as proof of your humanity and strength. Chosen one, you must learn to protect your voice like treasure. Don't waste it convincing those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Don't spend it trying to heal those who enjoy hurting you. You are not required to explain what God is doing in your life to anyone who wasn't there in your wilderness. The ones who didn't help you build shouldn't have access to what you've built. When God elevates you, your silence will confuse them more than your words ever could. Some will wonder why you stopped talking. But what they don't know is that silence became your sanctuary. You no longer need validation. You have confirmation. You no longer need to be understood. You've been chosen. The people who truly deserve your voice are few, but they are divine. They are sent by God to refresh, not drain you, to elevate, not compete with you, to intercede, not interfere. Those are your spiritual tribe, the ones who hear your silence and still understand your soul. So guard your voice like you guard your peace. Speak life into those who speak life into you. Pour into those who pour back. And when it's time to speak to the world again, let your words come from a place of strength, not survival. Remember, chosen one, your voice is a gift from heaven. Don't let just anyone unwrap it. Chapter 5. Your silence is a testimony. Chosen one, in a world that glorifies reaction, your silence is rebellion. It's not cowardice, it's control. It's not fear, it's faith. When you choose not to respond to lies, accusations, or manipulation, you're not surrendering the battle. You're surrendering it to God. And that's the greatest victory of all, because the moment you stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you, heaven starts speaking on your behalf. Your silence is not emptiness, it's evidence. It's proof that you have reached a spiritual maturity that few ever achieve. You no longer need to defend what God has already justified. You no longer need to prove what heaven has already approved. The quiet within you is not absence, it's power contained. The noise of others cannot compete with the calm of someone who knows their destiny is secure. There were times you could have exposed them, times you could have retaliated, embarrassed them, or revealed what they did behind closed doors. But you didn't. You stayed still. You let God fight the battle unseen. And now, because you chose silence, heaven will speak for you in ways that words never could. Every lie spoken against you is being reversed. Every trap set for you is being dismantled. Every tongue that rose against you is falling silent. Chosen one, silence is not just the absence of speech, it's the presence of wisdom. It's what separates those who live by impulse from those who move by divine instruction. When you stay quiet, you allow God to show people who you truly are without you having to say a word. Your peace becomes your defense. Your progress becomes your proof. Your elevation becomes your response. There's a reason why God said, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is not inaction. It's confidence in divine timing. You are not losing by being silent. You are letting heaven speak louder than your emotions ever could. Every time you hold your tongue, you are demonstrating mastery over yourself. You are showing that you trust God's justice more than human judgment. The people who betrayed you expected chaos. They expected a reaction, an explosion, or a breakdown. But when you responded with stillness, you disarmed them completely. Your silence unsettled them because it revealed who was truly in control. It wasn't them, it was God in you. You didn't need revenge, you didn't need validation, you simply needed patience. And heaven is about to reward you for it. Soon those who lied will be exposed, not by your words, but by their own actions. Those who mocked you will watch as the same God you trusted begins to elevate you publicly. Your silence will become the loudest testimony of your strength, your growth, and your divine covering. Chosen one, the same people who doubted you will be forced to watch you thrive. They'll realize that your silence wasn't submission, it was strategy. You were protecting your peace while God was preparing your table. And when your breakthrough comes, it will speak so loudly that your silence will echo across every conversation where your name was once disrespected. So keep your peace. Guard your energy. Speak only when God tells you to, and stay still when He tells you to wait. Because in the end, your silence will tell the story of how you trusted God when you could have defended yourself, and how that trust became your greatest testimony. Chosen one, remember this. When you stay silent in the storm, heaven hears you the loudest. Chapter 6. October 8 is a day of divine shift. Chosen one, this day, October 8, is not just another date on the calendar. It's a divine checkpoint in your spiritual timeline. Heaven has marked this moment as a turning point, a shift from what was into what will be. The Spirit of God is moving things in your favor, but He's also rearranging the people, the places, and the priorities around you. This is not coincidence. It's divine orchestration. October 8th represents separation and alignment. It's the day heaven calls you to silence the noise and listen with your spirit, not your emotions. God is saying, go be still, my child. I am shifting things you cannot yet see. What happens from this day forward will depend on how you respond, not to people, but to His voice. Every conversation you choose to have, every emotion you choose to entertain, every door you choose to reopen will either accelerate or delay your elevation. This day carries spiritual weight because it symbolizes new order. The distractions that once had your attention are being stripped away. The cycles that once drained your energy are being broken. God is resetting your environment so that your next season is clean, clear, and divinely coordinated. He's saying, don't go back to what I've already called you out of. The people you feel tempted to reach out to are part of the old vibration. They can't breathe the air of your new dimension. Chosen one, this is not the time to explain your silence. It's the time to protect it. Heaven is downloading instructions, but they can only be received in quiet. Stay off conversations that lead nowhere. Stop revisiting wounds that God already healed. Disconnect from what doesn't match your peace. Your destiny cannot bloom in contaminated soil, and your spirit cannot grow where confusion reigns. October 8th is the day where the unseen becomes felt, when your discernment sharpens and your soul feels the shift before your eyes can see it. You might feel sudden waves of peace or an urge to withdraw. Don't fight it, it's divine realignment. The people who fade after today were never meant for your next season. Let them go without guilt. God is not subtracting. He's making room for multiplication. This day marks the moment heaven starts clearing your path. The fog is lifting, the confusion is breaking. You will notice that certain things that once triggered you no longer do. That's because your frequency has changed. You're vibrating on a higher level. One where peace is your protection and silence is your strategy. Chosen one, from this day forward, walk in spiritual awareness. Guard your words, your time, and your energy like sacred treasures. Be intentional with your connections, cautious with your access, and selective with your spirit. Heaven is watching how you steward this shift. The decisions you make now will echo into your destiny. October 8th is the beginning of divine movement, the kind that cannot be reversed. God is saying, I am closing what you refused to close. I am cutting what you were afraid to cut. I am sealing what was once open to attack. Trust His timing. He's not taking things away from you. He's preparing to introduce what's been waiting for you all along. Chosen one, this is your crossover. You are leaving the realm of waiting and entering the realm of manifestation. Heaven's clock just struck your new beginning. Stand still, stay silent, and let this divine shift position you for what's next. October 8th isn't just a day, it's your spiritual reset, your moment of divine confirmation that you are walking into a destiny no man can alter. October 8th is the beginning of divine movement, the kind that cannot be reversed. God is saying, I am closing what you refused to close. I am cutting what you were afraid to cut. I am sealing what was once open to attack. Trust His timing. He's not taking things away from you. He's preparing to introduce what's been waiting for you all along. Chosen one, this is your crossover. You are leaving the realm of waiting and entering the realm of manifestation. Heaven's clock just struck your new beginning. Stand still, stay silent, and let this divine shift position you for what's next. October 8th isn't just a day, it's your spiritual reset, your moment of divine confirmation that you are walking into a destiny no man can alter. Chapter 7. Embrace silence, embrace freedom. Chosen ones, the most powerful thing you can ever do is embrace silence. Silence is not emptiness, it's alignment. It's the moment when the noise of the world fades and the voice of God becomes clear. When you stop trying to explain yourself to people who were never meant to understand you, you free your soul. When you stop defending your name to those who are determined to misunderstand your purpose, you reclaim your peace. The truth is, silence is the language of the wise. It's the realm where real growth happens. In silence, you are no longer reacting, you are reflecting. You are learning, healing, and preparing for what's next. The enemy wants noise, and because noise distracts, noise divides, and noise delays destiny. But when you choose stillness, you become untouchable. You rise above confusion, you move in clarity. You step into divine timing. Chosen one, by not speaking to those who harm or drain you, you are not being cold. You are being called. You are preserving your destiny. You are protecting the oil on your life. You are learning to let peace be your protest and purpose be your proof. The moment you stopped explaining, you started ascending. Understand this. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people feed on your reactions because it validates their illusion of control. But when you no longer respond, you take that control back. Your silence disarms them, it confuses them, it exposes them without you having to say a single word. That's divine protection in action. Silence doesn't mean you don't feel the pain. It means you trust that God will handle it better than you ever could. The truth is already in motion. Justice is already unfolding. The universe and heaven are already aligning everything in your favor. What's done in darkness will always come to light, and you won't have to lift a finger to prove anything. Your silence will speak for you. It will echo louder than arguments, louder than rumors, louder than lies. Because God always vindicates those who remain still in His presence. You do not need their approval, their understanding, or their acceptance. You never did. In your silence, you'll begin to notice how peaceful the world becomes. The noise fades, the anxiety lessens, and the weight lifts. You'll begin to see clearly who was real, who was pretending, and who was sent to test your faith. That's when you realize your silence wasn't just protection. It was revelation. Chosen one, this season of silence is sacred. It's not punishment, it's preparation. God is whispering instructions that can't be heard in chaos. He's refining your vision, renewing your strength, and teaching you how to move without announcing your every step. Because where you're going next, silence will be your strategy and peace will be your power. Do not fear being misunderstood. Do not rush to defend what God is already protecting. Just keep walking in silence, trusting that heaven is orchestrating the justice, the clarity, and the breakthrough. Every unanswered accusation will become your testimony. Every unseen tear will become your reward. Every moment of restraint will become evidence of your maturity. Your time is coming, chosen one. Your peace is sacred. Your destiny is unfolding right before your eyes. And when the truth finally reveals itself, when everything hidden is brought into the light, you will realize that your silence was never weakness. It was strength. It was wisdom. It was divine strategy.